Bleach Bros podcast is proud to align itself with Jerky Pro, a beef jerky manufacturer established by military and paramilitary veterans.
Available in 3-ounce or 1-pound bags with great flavors such as honey glazed, teriyaki, red hot, apple cinnamon, original, peppered, sweet barbecue, and if you're ballsy enough, nuclear.
Be sure to use our promo code to get some of the best jerky on the market. Use Bleach Bros 5, all lowercase, to take advantage of this offer today.
This is Tommy Thompson from Kenny B's ESPN Sports Handicapping Show presented by William Hill down here in Reno, Nevada. I have the pleasure of joining Jake on the Bleach Brothers podcast, and unfortunately I got to be stuck with a Cowboy fan with my man B-Word.
Welcome into the Bleach Brothers podcast. This is B-Word, and as usual, I am here with the unwelcomed Jake the Hater. Jake, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, I'm wonderful. How are you, buddy?
You are a fucking liar because you are not wonderful.
Right? Well, okay. Are we talking about me as like the person, or are we talking like an adjective, or are we talking about the adverb, like how I'm acting?
I'm talking about you as a MacGuffin. You just don't sit well in the movie. You're just a bad plot point. But you know. That's why we're friends.
Hurtful. That's hurtful, dude.
You like bad movies, and well, I like you, so it works. It works. Speaking of bad movies, we are here with a bunch of people, and we're going to go ahead and introduce them now. So first and foremost, welcome in Mike and Tabby from the Happy Hour podcast. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing fantastic, my guy. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you so much.
Doing well. Tabby's sitting there in her Bleach Bros shirt. And that makes me happy. So I'm all about that life. Welcome in. And then we'll welcome back in not an honorary Bleach Bro. He's an inaugural Bleach Bro, correct? Because we only did it once. Yeah. Mitch, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Not bad. I can't complain.
Well, that's good. Well,
and he's in his Bleach Bro thong. So
yes,
he is.
This is a fact.
It's amazing.
Oh, he beats me hands down. He's done. I'm done. He wins.
Mitch, is it lace or leather?
It is the lace one.
Okay.
I like it to breathe a little bit.
Especially down there in South Texas, my man. It's probably all fucking moist down there, isn't it?
Yeah, all the humidity. You really want to go with the lace.
His balls or Texas?
Both.
Both.
Oh, okay. Figured I'd
Both.
ask.
So what brings us here tonight is we're going to talk about some MCU shit. So Comic-Con was a couple weeks ago. Marvel came out with a slate. They finished up Phase 4. They introduced Phase 5. And they also talked about some properties in Phase 6. I know that I'm excited about the direction that Marvel goes. I've said this multiple times on this platform. In Feige, I trust. But Jake, what's your thoughts on the MCU, man? How do you feel about the trajectory of it right now?
I'm worried, actually. It's not that I thought it was better when it was separate entities as TV and they sort of knew of each other and they existed, but it was different. You had two heads leading it. I feel anytime you put all the power in one bucket, no matter what it is in life, something goes wrong. That's my biggest fear right now. I feel, and I also feel, as I said before, this was our Star Wars. It's ended. Now we're getting into new episodes. They're rushing things. We're trying to compare too much. We have variants. And since VFX people are complaining about Marvel, you're going into a category of Marvel that's going to require the most it's ever seen with galactic and wizardry and all that more so. So I don't know if it holds up as well. But that's my basic opinion. I'll also say this year's Comic-Con, out of most of them, mind you, I watched it online. I've never been. Was not that good. Would our guests agree with that?
Fucking hot takes. Well, let's throw it over to Mike and Tabby. Would you agree with that? With Jake's take on that?
As far as the Comic-Con thing goes, yeah, I agree 100%. It was very underwhelming for me. As far as the new MCU stuff goes, I think Tab and I were talking about that a couple of days ago, actually. The one thing I'm most excited for is, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people will agree with me, is the Daredevil's return.
Yes.
18 episode run.
Yeah, but with the way that a lot of the shows are and some of the movies that have been released, I'm not as excited about it as I was for a lot of what happened throughout the Infinity Saga.
Well, so Mitch, you and I have had at least a decade worth of conversation about movies and comic books and TV shows and all of that sort of stuff. And a lot of opinions that you have in the comic book realm, I respect just like everybody else here in this room. What would you, so two questions. What's the trajectory of the MCU to you? Are you optimistic, pessimistic? And what did you think of what you saw of Comic-Con?
I really kind of have to agree with everyone in the room right now. Comic-Con underwhelmed, from a Marvel standpoint anyway. Comic-Con overall was great. Marvel didn't deliver a lot of what it kind of, I guess, promised. Star Wars Celebration had more packed out than Comic-Con did. What I'm more concerned about with the trajectory of the MCU is the toxic fan base and the like these TikTokers that get on there and they hype up the wrong stuff. So they flip flop. They tell us all about how bad the first episodes of something is, and then the next week on their little thing they talk about, oh well, what we were talking about this and this is good and great. We're not. It's like you said, in Feige we trust, right? We gotta trust the process here, and hope that Marvel is doing right by the source material. That's what brought Iron Man out. Jon Favreau,
Right.
source material, following through to that. If they stay true to what they already have on the pages and not listen to these influencers and the toxic fan base, I think we'll end up in a good spot.
Now, I'll ask this though to both parties, and Mitch, you first. Do you feel that? I mean, you basically said, Iron Man was off source material. That they've opened it up where there's too much source material now, or too easy things to fall back on, like variants of saying, oh well, they're just there, and they've closed lazy plot points.
Yes, I think that a lot. I think Marvel has created so much with Disney that like it's almost like immediately after something pops up in Marvel now, it's at a Disney property. Like the Avengers campus already has all these people, like before we've even really looked at them. I kind of think it's almost like the Walking Dead problem. The Walking Dead was a great show until it caught up to the book, and then it took over, like the show took over. So then the source material became the show. So now the source material of a lot of Marvel property is becoming MCU. So they're falling back on the MCU, and it's creating this ripple effect. So yeah.
Well, that's a very good point, because we've seen that with multiple things, like Game of Thrones sort of is another example. Wherever you have something run out of source material and you have to create, and which fan base do you cater to? Do you cater to, like, for example, Game of Thrones, the TV audience that's going to really just care about the stories that you have, but then I can branch out this way, or what the original writer wanted to do, or anything like that? Mike and Tabby, I guess I'll ask that part. Do you feel that they are running out of, they have enough source material to create better things, or that they need to just sort of go on their own run and sort of ditch the source material?
I think they have enough source material to create better things, because, I mean, look at how much Marvel stuff is out there as far as comics go. But I don't know. They got to play it a certain way. You don't want them to make it predictable. Like with this new Daredevil series coming out, you don't want to be watching the show and you can tell in this particular episode, oh, I've read this part of the comic, this particular book series before. I know what's going to happen. You got to tweak it a bunch to keep the audience on their toes.
I was going to say you actually have people that read the comics and they know what's going to happen. So you have to keep the people on their toes. Like you have to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
True, but isn't there something enjoyable about, it's sort of like when you read a book and you see it come to life, you're like, I can't wait for that scene. I can't wait for that moment where this happens because it's my favorite part of the comic book. That's something that happens for me. Like, I'm one of the people that still argue I like comic accurate looking characters. Yes, I want the best acting involved and I want the best graphics and everything else, but I still want a comic accurate character because that's what I read. That's what I fell in love with. I don't want it to be so variant off where I can't focus on that other part.
I was excited to see source material really come to life when they announced Civil War, and then I watched Civil War. It missed a lot to me because I was expecting, the introduction of new characters. Like in the book, Daredevil plays a huge role in that storyline, and he was, I mean, I get why they couldn't put him in it, but if you're gonna do something like that high, at least try to get a little closer to what the source material was.
If there's big scenes in the comics that actually make an impact, then yes, absolutely put them into the movies. Like the scenes that, or the parts of the comic strips that make us involved and stand out to majority of the people that read them. If you could put that into the movies, then abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
So one of the things that Marvel struggled with is that a lot of their properties were actually separated through multiple different entities, right? So whether it be distribution rights with Universal, whether it be Sony with their ownership of Spider-Man, or whether it be just different things as far as movie rights go. I mean, Fox had a lot of properties, for instance. I think now that Disney has all of the, well, they don't have all the characters, but they at least have a working relationship with Sony at the moment. I mean, we're not going to really talk about, very bad movies like Morbius, but we will talk about what they've done with the Spider-Man. We will talk about, now they're doing more Hulk stuff on TV. I mean, things are coming together. I'm optimistic about what Marvel can do, especially now that they have a lot of these properties. Where I'm pessimistic, or at least concerned, is that there's so many different television series that are out there now with Disney Plus that I'm concerned that new fans might get lost. I think that if there's a fan of, I don't know, the next characters that come out, the Fantastic Four as an example, that they might have missed so much because maybe they didn't see Doctor Strange, maybe they didn't see Loki, right? So there's so many concepts that I feel that aren't going to wrap together, and so that's where I'm pessimistic on that.
Well, see, I'm pessimistic with you. I'll agree with that part because I've said before on the show that their audience is already so huge, and you're trying to broaden it outside of the scope. And by doing that, you like when you get so big, right? And you try to make it bigger, you start to alienate the core group. And it's not that, I mean, and that's a huge core group, but as we saw with Miss Marvel, it felt like a tween show. And so it turned a lot of people off instantly. And some people were turned off for other reasons. That's besides the point. But that's the other fear, B-word, is you are trying now to grow a $1 billion franchise audience. And now you're saying, okay, let's go over here and grab these people when they don't matter.
And I will say that Miss Marvel didn't hit everybody's wants, I guess, for what it was, especially at the end when she was introduced as a mutant. But I do think that there's a lot of things that are in Miss Marvel that are really good, that tie into the overall story, the overarching story for what we're going to see in the Marvels and such. I guess my concern would be in the Marvels, if somebody hasn't seen, let's say, WandaVision, are they going to be confused? So that's more or less about what I'm concerned about. But I'll tell you, going back to Comic-Con, I'm very happy that they didn't say anything about X-Men, because we've had this on the calendar for a little while now. And what this is we've talked about multiple times. As a matter of fact, the Bleach Bros, all three of us, have talked about doing casting for the X-Men, because we like to cast, and of course we're nerds. And then Mike and Tabby have actually had some very successful shows where they've done some casting, and most recently they casted Stranger Things as if it was in the 80s, and I fucking love that episode. And so yeah, I'm excited for what's going to happen tonight.
Yeah, because I'll tell you guys, one of the first episodes when we first started talking and becoming sort of a core group of friends that I fell in love with was when you guys redid Game of Thrones.
The American version of the Game of Thrones.
The American version. And that's probably the first episode. Actually, that was the first episode I listened to of you guys when we sort of got to know each other. And I told B-word when we were like, okay, we work on guests on the calendar behind the curtain and stuff. And I was like, well, we've been wanting to do this. I've been wanting to do the X-Men casting for I don't know, ever since we started, we've all talked about it. I know we talked about it back in December when we were doing the New Year, New Bleach episode. And then when we finally came down to it, we're like, well, let's have them on. This is a great idea. You guys do a great job of fan casting. So, it just opened up. Yeah, it opened up everything for that. So we figured it would be a good time.
To just throw out there, Mike and I both have casted haunted attractions and different characters for many of years. So we kind of take a person of their personality, how they can act, what they look like, and put them in different types of characters, which I think we make a really good team in casting.
Yeah.
And that's why I really like the challenge of us going against each other.
Yeah.
So as far as the casting of the X-Men characters, kind of the parameters of what we're going to go through tonight is we came up with a list of characters that we are going to cast pod versus pod. And ultimately, we have Mitch here to be more or less our moderator and judge. Mitch, I've specifically reached out to you to let you know not to be biased. So that way this is a fair chance for not only the happy hour folks that are here, but also just for the fans, as far as if they cast somebody that's better than us, which I doubt at this point, because I mean, we're the Bleach Bros. Then at
You think
least
so.
then at least we're going to have a good time tonight. So Mitch, initially I'll throw this back to you, but there are the characters that we're going to cast tonight are Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Bishop, Nightcrawler, Storm, Magneto, Rogue, Professor X, Gambit, Colossus, and Wolverine. But each podcast has a wild card, if you will, of a casting that is unlike the other. And so with that, we're going to throw it over to Happy Hour Podcast and let us know what your wild card castings are.
The wild card, 1 or 2?
Give us
two.
both.
Okay. Toad and Havoc.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay.
Ooh. Who do you have for Toad?
Toad, we've got Bill Skarsgård.
Oh, that's a great casting.
I'm a big Bill Skarsgård fan.
He was fucking like fantastic as Pennywise. I honestly don't think that I think he did better than Tim Curry.
Oh, 100%.
And they're just the eye thing, the lazy eye that he can move is
And
just
his mouth.
the way he makes his mouth like
what that mouth do?
So who do you have for Havoc?
Havoc. This one, literally, I just pulled up 3 seconds
I'll take it.
before.
I
You trust me on this one, right?
trust you on this one. But it's my boy Will Byers, Noah Schnapp.
That's an interesting casting.
Really,
Yeah.
Will Byers?
really.
Wow.
I think Noah's dude. That
He could act. I think
That
he's been
kid's-
so fucking reserved in
that
his
kid's
role.
gonna have a career ahead of him.
I think he's been so fucking
agree with
reserved in
that.
the role of Will. We will see it. We will see it in season 5. But you need to bring him to the next level to make him Havoc. And I think he could totally pull it
Okay.
out because he's been so reserved. He gets to unleash.
I think he could pull it off.
Okay.
I really do. And I mean, the only other thing besides Stranger Things that I've seen him in is that Adam Sandler Hubie Halloween movie on Netflix from 2 years ago. And he was pretty okay in that. But I think that kid's gonna have a career. He's gonna have his career is gonna go for a very long time.
Okay.
Well, I have to be honest. I love the Toad casting, the Havoc casting. I'd have to see it. I'd have to see it in action to really see how it is. But because you guys have proven that you're casters, I'm going to give you guys credit for it. So we too have 2 characters that are wild cards. Jake, you want to do yours?
Yeah. So one of my favorite characters is Archangel.
Ooh,
I am a big
Ooh.
fan of Archangel. And so I picked Ricky Whittle
Same.
from American Gods. I think he plays Shadow, the main character. I think he has the great physique, the great look, and he is a good actor. And the nice thing is too, it's a character that doesn't need too much. He can be the strong silent type, but he can also talk very well, and have some good points. I think the fight scenes would be phenomenal. He's proven that he can do that. So that would be my pick. And the nice thing is you can actually cast him as Angel and see the development through the show if you wanted to, or just start him as Archangel too, which I think would be a good fit for he can do both realms.
He's got the physique for it for sure.
Yes, he does.
He wouldn't even have to work out for it. He's already like there.
Yeah.
It's not fucking
So
fair.
my casting, I've got X-23. And candidly, so some of the rules that we went through is to not recast a character or not cast a character that's already been in a Marvel property. I liked the actress who played X-23 in Logan, but this time I'm going to go with Joey King. Joey King was the main character on The Act, which is a Hulu special. But she's also played in a couple other roles. Number one, she's a young actress. I think that you can groom her, and I'm trying not to say groom in a bad way, but you can have her as a young X-23, or you can even have her as an older X-23. She's got the acting skills that'll put that together. She's already got the physique for it. I think that she would be a good person to cast in that role. So, Mitch, there's your 4 wild card characters. Out of initially, these points don't count, but out of these 4 characters, you've got Happy Hours 2, or you've got Bleach Bros 2. Which one are you going with?
I mean, can I take one from each side?
Yes, you can. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you Havoc for the Happy Hour, and this is why I won't give you Toad. I hate it, both versions of it. I mean, I can't.
I'm going to bed. Good night, guys.
If I hate spiders and it, man, that clown fucks with me. So I won't.
That's even more reason to love him and love it.
I can't give you Bill Skarsgård. But no, I think Will as Havoc. I mean, yeah, if you write that character into whatever version of the X-Men we get, if we were able to throw him in there, I think he could do it. I don't, and then I'll give you Archangel. But we're talking about Archangel, right? Like after Apocalypse messes with
Yes.
him? Yeah, okay.
That's essentially my original pick.
Yeah, so I would give you Archangel. X-23, I want to see Daphne continue that role, so I wouldn't recast.
That was a hard pick.
Yeah, I wouldn't recast.
It was a hard pick because she was such a great actress.
Yeah, she's super great.
She crushed that role.
She reminds me of Chloe
it.
Grace
Moritz.
Mortet.
Mortiz? I thought it was Moritz.
More tits.
It's not more tits.
More tits.
Where are we at now? Hold on, guys. You got Jake all interrupted. We're on more tits. So, anyways, I want to cast some tits in this show, the Triple X-Men. So,
Triple X-Men.
We'll get to Rogue.
There it is.
We'll get to Rogue. Don't worry.
All right. So the rules of this casting are, and I think I've already said it, it has to be a new actor to the MCU. They cannot have been a previously casted X-Men, and they must be casted for a future MCU rendition of the X-Men. Now, whether they call it X-Men or the Mutants, that doesn't matter. But these are the characters that if we were the casting directors, we would go with. So with that, Mitch, what's the first character you want to see? And then which podcast do you want to hear from first?
Shoot, if we were the casting directors for the MCU, we'd be in trouble.
Says you.
Not DC, though. We'd be fine for DC, I bet.
No, you're right.
Excuse me, sir.
No, he's right. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right.
Just a bunch of kids in a toy box over here. That guy. So let's just start with the heavy hitter. Let's just go with Professor X right off the bat. And Happy Hour. Let me get your pick for Professor X.
This one was all you.
Mark Strong.
God, yeah, I hate you guys.
That's our pick too.
That's our pick.
So you guys
First
win.
one out of the fucking cake.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
He would be perfect for a Professor X. So just so you know, Jake and I actually did separate castings, and we had to narrow them down based on a collective between the two of us. And I picked Mark Strong, and Jake goes, "Yep, that's it." And so that's where we agreed on it. Mark Strong would be fucking awesome in the role.
Yep. That's a hard person to not. I mean, it's not just because he's bald, but yeah.
Literally, after you gave us the list, me and Mike were like, all right, let's do this. And we were just like, pow, 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 pow.
As soon as I saw Professor X, I looked at her, I said, either Mark Strong's on there or you leave it fucking blank. And she agreed. She said, yeah, 100%.
Oh, totally.
Mark Strong for sure.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Mitch. Well, that wasn't as contentious as I imagined.
Right.
So
Not too
we've
bad.
got Mark Strong collectively as Professor X. What is your thoughts on Mark Strong as Professor X?
Yeah, I'll take it. What a strong actor in a lot of different roles. And I think he'd be able to sit right at the head of that table and portray that character again with the right team of writers and directors. I really think he'd be, top of the list to get right in there.
I agree. What's the next character that you want to hear casted?
Let's go with Storm and Bleach Bros. Let's hear from you guys first. This is kind of a weird one because we might see her in Black Panther 2 before we get her in X-Men, but.
So I'll say this: we this was one I know that we did not agree on, and this one took a little bit of debate. But I wanted to go with somebody a little less known, and I'll throw it out there because I threw her name out first, and it was Lovey Simone. I can't say the last name; it's Opong, I believe. She has been in Cher, The Walk, Greenleaf, The Craft Legacy. It's if you look at her acting list, I don't think she's in the strongest movies and shows, but I think she was one of the stronger actresses in those. I think she has a look. I think that she can do the graceful Storm if we get sort of the rag. It depends on which one you do, but I think she could pull any of them off. So that was the actress that we decided to go with.
That's a good one.
Ours is Sonequa Martin Green from Walking Dead
and the
new Star Trek.
It's the new Star Trek show.
She is a very strong female lead, and she has proven it in 2 different shows.
Yeah.
She's also hot. I'm just going to say
She really
that.
is.
She's hot.
Yeah,
she is.
She so is.
Yeah.
All right, Mitch. Which pod takes it?
If I'm thinking that Happy Hour's casting choice is who I think it is, I'm gonna have to go with it is. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Happy Hour on that one. I've seen her kind of in both, and I like her range. It's kind of like what they said. She's really good in both of those shows. She's got that great range and you kind of have to have that going from zombies to outer space. I mean, she really brings a lot to the table. So I'll give that one to Happy Hour.
Okay.
It's all right. A broken clock's wrong twice a day. Let's go.
I mean, hey.
Is the saltiness in our Hippo Nation, just so you guys know.
I was going to say, B-word is the salty of the Hippo Nation.
Oh, God.
Let's jump to a character that I hope we can cast correctly. She's been done wrong a couple of times, and that's Jean Grey. So Happy Hour.
Jesus Christ. This one was our very last, like less than 24 hours ago. It took us forever to pick this one.
I think, we cast her, yesterday?
Yeah, it was so bad. We couldn't figure out anybody because everybody we picked was already part of the MCU. But our choice for Jean Grey was
Evan Rachel Wood.
She's got range. She's done everything from chick flicks to comedy to drama. And she's got this air about her that carries this presence of.
She's been in almost all of the genres of movies that you can do.
All right,
yeah.
Bleach Bros, what do you got? What's the mashup?
So this one, Jake and I also didn't agree with initially, and just to be candid with you, there were certain ones that we were not willing to budge on, and whatever ones we were not willing to budge on, and if the other person didn't care, then we just went over it. And I was not willing to budge on this character. So for Jean Grey, I casted Anya Taylor-Joy, and she was in The Queen's Gambit.
Phenomenal fucking show, by the way.
And the Mutants.
Yeah.
Oh, she was in the. God damn it, she was in the Mutants.
She's weird looking.
I didn't want to know if we counted that, but yeah.
She was in the New Mutants, right?
Damn it. Well,
When
I broke
B-word
my
was
own rule.
not being moved, I gave up an argument.
Wait,
yeah,
what was yours, Jake?
B-word. That's why I didn't pick her. That's why I didn't pick her, because she was in the Mutants.
I want to hear what Jake's was.
Yeah, I'm looking it up because we sent these lists, and it was one of those things. So where we went back and forth so damn much that we were typing, and it was getting like, it wasn't like heated really, but it was just like, okay, here's where I'm at. Nope. Here's where you're at. Nope. Mine was an older actress. I know that part, but I felt
that Jake's was too old for the role, is why I stuck there. I'm going to see if I can look it up too.
I got it. But what were you saying? Mine was Jessica Chastain. But ooh. I think B-word was right. She is too old. I think she was a great actress. I think she had the physique and stuff, but I do agree. Especially, I think the MCU is trying to go younger so they can develop over time, like, with these new slates. Yeah. So that was the reason my pick. And that's why I also was like, I can't really budge on this, whatever. I don't really care, because she's also not one of my favorite characters, which I know sort of would spit in Mitch's eye, because I know me and Mitch have had debates on, and he's a big Jean Grey fan. Am I wrong there, Mitch?
Yeah, I think she gets I think they don't know how to write her that well, and so she gets like underplayed and set off on the side a whole lot.
Sub character.
Yeah, they just don't bring that. She gets a lot more love in the animated series and things like that, but just on screen she just gets put to the side way too much. And I think if they could write her better, and I think they try too immediately to go after the Phoenix saga with her, and they don't develop the character enough. So they just, yeah. But
okay, so Mitch, hypothetically, because I'm going to give this point to Happy Hour because I broke my own rule in the casting that they can't have been in a Marvel property before.
But
so that's my fucking fault. But hypothetically, betwing the two, who would you choose?
I would have picked Happy Hours, because looking at your choice, and for what I saw in the New Mutants, I don't think your choice has the look. I just don't see her as being Jean Grey either, so it just wouldn't have been believable to me.
Well, that's the end of Mitch. Mitch, we're losing you. Mitch, are you there?
Hey, on a completely unrelated side note, I just got confirmation about some flag being delivered to my house. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it might say like Happy Hour porno or
something like that. I'm not sure.
All right, what's your next character that we can fucking try to win at?
Let me throw it to another character that I think has just been completely dismissed on the screen, and that's Gambit. I want to see Gambit come to the screen in a big way. So, Bleach Bros, let me hear from Gambit. What do you got?
All right, so for Gambit, I went for look, but I also went for acting cred. For Gambit, we chose Michael Huisman, Huisman. He has the look of what I think Gambit looks like. And one of the things about the actor is, so first off, he's a Dutch actor, so he does have an accent, but I do think that he can work around that accent. And also, he has been in some pretty good television shows, as well as some good movies. So a couple movies he's been in was World War Z, also The Age of Adeline. I feel like he's got that look that we're looking for from Gambit, and so that's who we chose.
All right, Happy Hour.
All right. So, I mean, yeah, I can.
Go.
So our Gambit is sticking with the age range of Gambit, Dacre Montgomery. He was on Stranger Things. He was the Red Ranger in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and he's got
that Christmas movie, that horror Christmas movie we saw him in. Silent Night. No.
No, it was the one where the babysitter.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name of it.
I don't remember.
We'll figure it out after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we probably will. But no, he
'Cause
was in a Christmas movie where he literally played like Billy from Stranger Things.
It was a small role. He ended up dying in it. He got murdered.
Yeah, but I
But-
think his
Spoiler alert or anything.
douchebaggy but good-looking range would cover Gambit.
For Gambit, I'll go with the Bleach Bros on that one. Definitely. Their pick looks more the part that I'm looking for in the MCU. I think Gambit should be a little more of a well-established character already in the MCU. Like, he's been out there a little while and doing his thing. He's not one of the new mutants that gets recruited. Also, I think the guy from Stranger Things and who was the Red Ranger, I think he's still on timeout for his role in Power Rangers and all that, because they did me dirty with the Power Rangers, and I'm still mad at the whole cast for that.
Well, shit.
It's okay. It's still 2-1. So
Yeah, because we're tied on 1.
Mhm.
Happy Hour has 2, Bleach has 1, and we've got 1 tie right now. So that brings us to our next character. Mitch, who you want?
Let's talk about Colossus out here. And I'll go with Happy Hour first. Who do we have for Colossus?
For Colossus, we have Joe Manganiello.
Okay.
okay.
Ours is better
Why?
because I chose it.
Yeah.
Look at the guy.
That yes. I look at him all the time. He's on screen.
He's like Colossus. Dude's a giant. He's jacked.
Do you want Colossus to talk in the movie?
Yeah, bro.
Tabby doesn't.
I know she's muting it. She's magic miking it downstairs to that. I'm just asking
No, it's
if he can act the part. That's the problem I'm having. Is
I
his
think he
body's
can.
there, but
I-
you can. Okay,
I
that's
think he
fine.
can.
I just
No.
I think he can.
I mean, he could absolutely dumb it down to where he's not really talking at all. If it came to that, and he was just like, my body,
I think
I'm Colossus. Like,
if he can pull off Slade Wilson, he can pull off Colossus.
he was Slade Wilson.
He was Slade Wilson for like
that's-
5 minutes. I don't think you really got a good shot at that either.
But still,
It doesn't matter. It matters to
Still.
me.
All right, so you guys ready to actually get the right pick?
oh, are you finally ready to get a point?
So for Bleach Bros, Colossus is Alan Richson.
Who? Wait.
Oh,
Colossus is
Hawk
Alan
from
Richson. Recently he played Reacher.
he was Hawk
Recently
from
he played
Titans.
Reacher on Amazon.
Yeah.
He was also in Blue Mountain State.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh shit.
He was actually one of my honorable mentions for that role.
You're the one that chose this one, so don't even.
No, I know. I picked Joe Manganiello.
So I'll weigh in here with my decision. It's the Bleach Bros win it, and one of the reasons why is I don't see Joe in that role. I think he's got more of almost like a Wolverine type thing going on. But I pick Alan because this kid was Aquaman in Smallville, and he deserves
Right.
Yeah,
he
that's true.
deserves a breakout role in the MCU, and I think Colossus would probably be more his speed. But yeah, I give that one to the Bleach Bros because I don't necessarily see Joe in that role. I think he's probably got something different coming up in the MCU, maybe not even in the X-Men. So
I'm thinking like Ghost Rider.
something to that. Yeah, he's going to be a more
Oh, that'd be badass, actually. Yeah,
Mhm.
I could see him as Ghost Rider.
All right. Let's get into let's see Rogue. Let's see Rogue, and let's start with the Bleach Bros.
Alexandria Daddario.
We got it too.
Same.
Just quick fire
That's
that
been
one.
a
Okay.
I'll just say this. That's been a fan dream casting. They actually have photos of her online. This was one where we went back and forth a lot, but I think she has the look, the appeal, the acting chops. I think the other thing is Rogue is also a character that's been overdone in films, so you could almost have her as more of a side character, especially if we were going to do the Gambit Rogue story, where they're together. You could focus more on Gambit's side for once. So it's not that you have to write too much for her, but
Agreed.
you don't have to heavily do that. So on that note, I'm going to guess if you have the same pick, we tie.
All right. I'll accept
We
it.
did.
All right, let's go to someone who I can really do without in any X-Men property is Bishop, and I'll ask for the happy hour first.
For Bishop, we casted Terry Crews.
Terry Crews, Old Spice Terry Crews, like, yeah, I'm here. Like, oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
wanna
we
hear
did.
this. Oh, my God. Guy doesn't even have hair. Give him a great, this wig's going to look
That's
fucking great on you, bro. All right. I want to hear this. Tell me why.
It will. You know that wig is going to look rad as fuck on Terry
I
Crews.
want to see him in a wig. Like, that's the whole
No.
point.
No, I've seen a lot of stuff that he's in, and he crushes every role he's ever played.
Yeah.
It doesn't
White
matter
Chicks,
what
he
it is.
killed it.
He was amazing in White Chicks. It's my favorite.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I don't even want to give my pick. I just want to argue this one because I feel like we're going to get a point regardless. God, this pick sucks. You want me to go B word or you?
Yeah,
I'm already shitting
No,
on it.
this was your pick. Let's go.
Okay. I'm going with Jonathan David Washington, Denzel's son in Tenet. Amazing actor. Also in Ballers. Loved him. I think he could do the raggedy hair. He could do it. You can make him really gruff. He's got the beard. He's got the look. He's got the acting chops. He can be a total douchebag asshole. He could also be a nice guy, but it's also a character I could do without. So I agree with you, Mitch. When he was on the list, I went, I don't really care, but I did put some effort into it, and that was our pick.
Okay, so let me talk about Terry Crews real quick. Was Terry Crews in the Expendables? He was in the whole franchise, right?
He was.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll give him the action cred for that, but no, that's not that's not Bishop. And fun fact, I watched Tenet, and until Jake just said it, I didn't know that was Denzel's son. So that was a crazy movie. That's a great actor.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, I'd throw him in there
I haven't either.
as somewhere with as Bishop. So I'll give Bleach Bros that one. Let's talk about Magneto. Who's gonna take on that role? Because the two people who've already run it, I think, did fantastic jobs with their respective parts in the franchise. But let's see who we got. I'll ask the Bleach Bros first. Who's coming out as Magneto?
Mads Mikkelsen.
Okay.
Oh.
That chuckles makes me a little less confident, P-word.
I know. I don't think Mitch is going to choose Mads Mikkelsen depending upon who's there. But Mads Mikkelsen has some killer acting creds. I mean, from Hannibal to what he's done in the Harry Potter thing that he was in, and I mean, he's a good ass actor. He's older, so again, we're taking on an older Magneto role potentially in this MCU film. He has that look as if he does come from Germany or Austria or whatever that might be, that region. And I think he could pull it off,
Dutch.
dude.
All right, happy hour.
We took Jason Isaacs.
I mean, he was Hook in Peter Pan.
He always plays the villain in everything, and he crushes it every fucking time.
That's literally his entire role, is to be the villain. Like,
Yeah.
that's what he was born to be.
But do you feel okay? And I'm before Mitch gets involved. Do you feel Magneto is better as an anti-hero almost, or as a pure fucking villain?
Pure villain.
I'm going to come out and say you guys got a strong pick, but I disagree with it compared to ours. This will be one that yes, absolutely. And so, so Mitch, if you don't pick Mads Mikkelsen, fuck you too. I'm just going to throw that out there right there. But yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. Those are two solid picks for Magneto, regardless of the outcome.
I'm also happy nobody went with the fan pick of Jeremy Irons, because I mean that was originally, and then we're like, oh, they're probably going to pick that, but then it was like that was a big argument for us. No, but it's like that's one of those ones that like everybody's been dreaming for it for years now lately. But I think it's also we're getting down to there's 3 characters I think that people can't get over who have been cast in them before, and so they're hard to replace. And Magneto, as Mitch said, is a really hard fucking replacement.
So I'll tell you this, and B-Word kind of thought that I didn't know, but Mads is actually one of my favorite actors in a lot of things that he's done. He's one of my favorite Bond villains. His role in Rogue One was probably one of the coolest roles I've ever seen, because it was such a one-time role. You're not really going to go back into that and explore it, but just the gravity of what it was cool. And then in King Arthur, I think it's King Arthur, it's old like early 2000s take on that character. He was one of these like silent warrior dudes, and he was really fucking cool in that role. So he's actually one of my favorites. But again, he's kind of got that, if we're taking Magneto from like a villain to like the anti-hero where he's going to take over and lead the X-Men, probably Mads. If we're talking about him being like a super villain all out, then I think we have to go with Jason Isaacs, right? Because when he is a villain, he's like a mean villain. The Patriot, and then of course his Harry Potter roles. So for the sake of talking about Magneto as a super villain, I'm gonna go with Jason Isaacs on that one. I'll give it to Happy Hour.
Mitch, you're cutting out again.
I know, it's bad.
I shouldn't have talked. I should have shut up, and I knew B-Word was sort of looking at me like, Jake, what are you doing? Because I'm like going, hey, is he a villain or an Ed? And I'm adding arguments for other people, so I'm just gonna not do that anymore. B-Word.
Thank you. I'd appreciate
Thank you, Jake. We love you for that.
Yep. Oh yeah. Who we got next, Mitch?
3 left.
There are 4 left. 4. I'm gonna ask you guys for my favorite X-Men, all-time favorite X-Men, just to see right here. I'm gonna ask for Nightcrawler.
Before we start, I'm gonna tell you right now, I think we both have the same pick. I'm just gonna say it. I think if it's based on look, but go ahead.
Well, we'll let.
Wait, who's going first?
I was gonna ask Happy Hour first.
Oh, Jake, did you guys pick Timothy Chalamet?
Yes,
we did.
Suck it, Michaela.
I told you we would.
So our friend, my best friend, our little sister, Michaela, I sent her the list and I was like, okay, since you're such a huge X-Men fan, who would you cast? And like the first thing she looked at was Nightcrawler because it's her favorite character ever. And she goes, no, there's no fucking way that you are choosing him because he's a piece of shit actor. You can't do that because this person's better. I don't even remember who she said this person's better was. And I was like, nope, we're going to take Timothy Chalamet on this one.
She even went onto our list and scratched off Timothy Chalamet's name and put her pick.
Our honorable mention was actually going to be Rami Malek. But I felt that he was a little too old for the role.
Oh,
that's who she picked.
Was it really?
That was B-Word. No, all right, it was not our honorable mention. I messaged back and said his teeth suck for it, but that was my opinion.
I'm glad that we all picked the same person because that probably would have been my fan cast too.
So we're just for the record to reset. Each podcast is tied at 5.
Mm-hmm. Which means we also have Wolverine, Cyclops, and Beast left.
Okay. So yeah, let's jump into let's fan cast Beast real quick, and I'm gonna ask Bleach Bros first, knowing that I'm sitting here with my Kelsey Grammer Funko Pop, so you guys should know that Beast is important to me.
I'm looking at Mike's face going, I'm going to say that because that's who we picked.
So I was willing to die on a hill for this actor for Beast. Again, we chose different characters for this. I liked the way that he looked. I liked where I was introduced to him as an actor was in It Chapter 2. He played Ben Hanscom. His name is Jay Ryan, and that's the actor that I chose to go for Beast. I thought he looked like a beast without hair, and I thought that he could pull it off.
All right.
Our Beast is Joel Edgerton, who plays Owen Lars in Star Wars. What else was he on?
Oh, he was
Warrior,
on Kenobi.
The Gift,
Yeah,
right?
Kenobi.
Great Gatsby. He's a good actor.
Yep.
He was young Uncle Ben on Kenobi.
He's also the same, like he's very close to the same height. He has that gruff, rough look to him
It's
that
kind of
could
20 years too old for the role, but you know.
I got
That's okay.
I gotta ask here, is anybody gonna tell Luke that with great power comes great responsibility? Because these guys are over here talking about he's playing Uncle Ben in a galaxy far, far away.
Uncle Ben quoting Stanley.
I gotta say these are two pretty good picks. I like the idea of Joe Edgerton a little bit better though, because I think Beast is a I in the newer X-Men films, I never liked the young Beast like this. He never caught with me because he was just so, I don't know, kind of arrogant and the transforming and everything. I like Beast in that philosophical role. Like he's a professor. He owns the blue fur and everything, and I think that older type actor, I think Joe Edgerton would be a better shot at that and be able to own that again if the writing is there. So
I'm pretty sure that Jake picked Joel Edgerton too.
No, I didn't. I picked Tyler Labine from Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah, that's right.
Wysocki.
Oh.
I honestly, this was one me and B-Word argued for a while, and Brian B-Word thought he was a little too old, but I thought he plays a professor in a TV show about being a doctor. He's funny. You can make Beast a little more lighthearted, but this was one where it was like, I'm hard-headed over here, you're hard-headed over here, let's meet in the middle. But that was my pick because I was going for a different type of Beast role, because I agree with Mitch. I hate young Beast. I hate young Beast written. I hate him drawn. I hate everything about it. I need a Professor Beast that reminded me of when I first fell in love with him on the original X-Men series.
That's a good pick, Jake. I'll give you that.
Thank you.
And Tucker and Dale kicks ass.
I fucking love
It
that
does.
movie.
It's a great fucking movie.
all right, so let's go after the top two here. I think everyone's favorites. So let's fan cast Cyclops, and I'll ask for the Bleach Bros first.
So this one was another one that I was going to die on a hill for. Jake had a different idea. I think Jake was originally going a little older for Cyclops, and I kind of had.
You didn't read my list. See, that's the other thing. B-Word didn't even read my list.
Well, it was spelled incorrectly, so I got lost.
It was spelled correctly. It was an easy name.
There was no good punctuation.
I picked Zac Efron, and you told me to fuck off. And I said, Zach douche. I said he's
Zac
a douche.
Efron
I want to see a big douchey Cyclops because I fucking hate Cyclops. So you know what? You could make him the douchiest High School Musical singing piece of crap on screen and make him shoot a laser out of his eye. I can give a fuck.
Yeah. No, I think that Zac Efron would make a great Johnny Storm. I don't think that he would, and I don't think that I would throw away Zac Efron as an actor on Cyclops, and I really feel like it would be a throwaway. But I chose Scott Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's son.
Nice.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
It is a good pick. That's the other thing. Yeah, it's a good pick.
We chose Robbie Amell.
Robbie Amell.
He was Firestorm on the Flash show the first couple seasons. He's done a couple of B movies. He's a B movie actor, but he's really good. at what he does. He was in. There was.
He is Stephen Amell's cousin.
Yeah.
My boyfriend's cousin.
Stephen Amell, the Green Arrow, his cousin. He was in. There's a Resident Evil movie that's on.
It's
Amazon.
the newest Resident Evil, the one
Yeah.
that's based off the video game.
Yeah, not that shitty series, but the
No.
movie. He's the lead. One of the leads in that.
What was that? What was
He was
that
also in The
movie?
Duff and Code 8.
Code 8.
Code 8,
That
yeah.
was the movie.
Yeah,
He was in Code 8.
Which
Yeah.
he was the lead.
That's what,
Yeah,
Mhm.
Code 8 was good.
It was really
I
good.
and he has the acting
that's our
chops to
pick.
be a hero. He's done it.
Yeah,
And he looks like a hero
that's our pick for Cyclops.
because he looks like his cousin.
Okay, so I'll weigh in on this one. I'm a huge fan of the Flash series, where Firestorm was in there. I love Stephen Amell. I got to meet him at a Comic-Con one time. He's a great guy.
What is
But-
he like? What is he like?
Stephen
Is
Amell,
he a good guy? Is he
Yeah,
great? Is he beautiful in person as he is on TV?
he was a very genuine dude. He signed he signed things. I mean, he was very cool to talk to for the very few seconds and minutes that you got to talk to him, but worth every penny.
It would only take me seconds.
Yeah, it does. But I'm a Stephen Amell fan. I'm not a Robbie Amell fan. I wasn't impressed with Firestar and all that, or Firestorm. And I like the idea of an unknown person taking on the role of Cyclops, and unknown to me. I don't know what Scott Eastwood has done or what he's famous for, but I've probably never seen him in anything, so I give that one to the Bleach Bros. I think he looks the part, and he'd probably bring some new blood to it.
We're still
Lame.
tied, which means this last pick is going to be the deciding factor.
So Wolverine is the tiebreaker. I do have a wild card that I'm just curious about afterwards, so just keep that in mind. So Wolverine is I guess the tiebreaker and the big deal. So I'll ask Happy Hour first. Who's our cast for Wolverine?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I hope you picked right.
I do too. For Wolverine, we chose Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander on The Boys.
I told you, B-word.
Now I know
I knew that they were going to pick that.
I told
Is
you.
that a tie? Is that who you picked?
No,
Is that
no,
who
it's
you
not. No, not at all.
Oh, you guys
No,
know
you
us
have your
so
shitty pick.
well.
No, well, and I know he's not a short person like Wolverine actually is, but then again, neither was Hugh Jackman, and look what
He's
happened there.
like 6'2".
Yeah. So I was able to look past the height as on that character because of Hugh Jackman, but I think Anthony Starr
He's got
like
the
cocky.
range. Like he
He's-
literally plays a
he can
kind
play a cocky, arrogant,
piece of shit fucker
and be a hard ass at the same time.
and be kind and nice to other people when he's in the spotlight.
So yeah.
All right, Bleach Bros, what do you got?
So this one is actually the whole reason this has got started, because I will always die on a hill on this. I picked this years ago before we even started our show. This was one of our first like late at night 3-hour talks on the phone, B-word. And I've always stuck with this pick, and he knows that. And so this was the only, pretty much when we argued the list, this was, I would never change my mind on this. And I picked Zach McGowan, who played Charles Vane on Black Sails. I think he has the face, if you actually did a comic accurate suit. He has the grit, the voice. The other thing is he's 6 feet tall, but if you ever have watched Black Sails, he looks short as hell. He is ripped. The physique's there. You can also make him a little younger looking. He is older, but you can also go for that mid-range age, and that's how Wolverine is. The fighting skills are there. The acting skills are there. And he plays a total asshole, but he also has moments where he's nice, where if you're seeing him like fall in love with Jean Grey or whatever person they're going to put him with, I think he could pull it off. And that is our pick for Wolverine.
And I'll be honest,
kinda
that was
like
not
you,
my
Jake.
pick. But that was
Yeah.
a great pick from Jake. So I knew going into this that was going to be Jake's pick, and I knew that there was no way that I was going to win that. So this was the one. Jake's been talking about this for years, so that's what we went with.
Okay.
What show is he on?
Black Sails. He plays. If after this, if you don't know him, go look up Charles Vane, the pirate, and just scenes, and listen to the way he talks and the way he fights.
Okay.
And I mean, you saw his probably physique by looking up photos, but he just, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's always been Wolverine.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
I
So
sure
I'll-
did see that physique.
I'll weigh in here, and I'll tell you, I've seen both of these things. I've seen Anthony Starr in The Boys. I've seen Zach in Black Sails, and I'm not really a super fan of either. Anthony Starr in The Boys, he kind of creeps me out a little bit with some of the stuff he does. Like, his acting is so good. I'm like, I gotta pause this and walk away for a minute. But I really do think I gotta give this one to Jake, because looking at some of the other stuff that Zach's been fan casted in, is like The Witcher and stuff like that, I really think he does have the range. And when you're talking about Wolverine as a whole character, I mean, you got to have all the different centuries and things like that. And Zach looks like he can portray those different time periods better when you're in there. So I do.
It's
not
just
to be
because he has
biased.
dark hair. Anthony
No.
has blonde hair. That's the only reason. That's
Actually,
it.
no, he has dark hair.
No,
he
it's
bleaches his hair.
It's because you're
Yeah,
big and
he
shitty.
has dark hair, and he has a lot of the gruff and the facial hair, and you can kind of see him in that casting. He looks almost like the ultimate version of Wolverine, which is not really my favorite either, but he does look the part when you put him there. But I really think you have to have that range, and I just don't see it from Anthony in there. So I give Wolverine to the Bleach Bros.
I just want to come out and say, and unbiased, correct, Mitch? Like, we
Unbiased.
didn't pay you off. Like,
No.
all right. So,
Yeah, I ain't buying you a
Bleach
fucking
Bros
flag. Get out of
won
here.
7. Happy Hour lost 6. I just want to point that out.
Wait,
And
I'm
then,
going
of course,
to
it's
bed.
up to
Fuck you
the
guys.
audience.
I fucking hate you. I'm taking the shirt off. I'm gonna fucking burn it.
It's up to the audience to determine if we really won or if we really lost. So, thanks, Mitch, for moderating that. And you had a couple other characters or an honorable mention or something that you wanted us to try to cast for you?
I had just one, and I wanted to
Rapid
see.
fire. Let's go.
I wanted to see.
Let's go. Rapid fire right now.
Guys could. So I'll ask Happy Hour first to cast Morph.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
2 seconds.
God, that's a tough call.
Yeah, rapid fire, guys. Fucking rapid fire. Yeah, get it. Rapid fucking fire.
Hold on. I got it.
Anthony Carrington.
No, fuck that.
He was Victor Zsasz on Gotham.
Ted Raimi.
No,
No,
too old.
you're too old.
Almost.
Jake, you got
Anthony
one?
Carrington.
All right. So mine is Milo Ventimiglia. Can you say the name, B-word? You can pronounce.
Yeah, so it's Milo or Milo Ventimiglia.
Yeah. He is from,
That is-
what's that?
That is
The Last of Us.
Ventimiglia.
Ew.
I'm pretty sure that's Milo. You're talking about the guy from like This Is Us or Parenthood or whatever.
This Is Us, yeah.
He's not the
That's who I'm,
Heroes.
the dad from This Is Us.
Heroes.
Yeah, that's who I'm going with.
As an honorable mention here, because I like Jake's pick, but I'm going to throw out Andy Samberg.
Okay.
You're talking
Holy
about
fuck,
Milo
that's good.
from Gilmore Girls. Got it. Okay.
Gilmore Girls. No one
who-
watches that
It ain't
shit.
no
I
fucking
missed-
Terry Crews.
Who did Happy Hour actually pick? The guy from.
Oh, they haven't rapid
Who did
fired
you
yet.
pick?
I don't know.
No, don't even
I
come
already
at
said
me with
Ted
that.
Raimi, but
That's. I'm not going to drink that
I-
much
We
tonight,
got,
Miss.
we got
I am
shirtless
not.
fucking rocket fire over there.
All right, you
Sure.
guys have to say it right now.
You said Anthony Kerrigan?
Yes.
I feel like he wasn't he in X-Men? Wasn't he in one of them? Was he Caliban?
No,
No?
I checked.
Okay.
Nope.
I don't. What else has he been in other than Gotham? Because I didn't watch Gotham because it was trash. So yeah, I'll pick Milo from the Gilmore Girls if those are the two picks.
Well, Happy Hour, thanks for losing to us. Mitch, thanks for moderating. And happy hour, you guys have a pretty notable experience coming up here in a few weeks. You guys want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's our world record episode coming up in 3 weeks from today, actually.
Oh Jesus, I'm gonna throw up.
And want to thank you guys for jumping in a couple of. I think you guys have two time slots.
They have. Wait,
that you guys are actually, I know, closing it out. You and the Dads on Dayquil.
Dad's is the hour before them, so we could.
Well, no,
always
they're
get
gonna
Dad's
they're gonna
out.
be in together. It's gonna be.
Oh Jesus
all three of us.
Christ!
Where were you when all of this was discussed?
I knew this was gonna happen, and Dad's on Dayquil and Bleach Bros and us at the same time is gonna be horrible.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Well, happy hour. Thank you guys for coming on. Mitch, thank you for coming on to moderate. Really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And with that, Jake, what do you got for us?
Thanks for all the dirty talk and come back and get sanitized.